It's a pleasure for us to present our open house. We are students of the Yavirac English Center and we are in the level A2.2 for 7 to 9 a.m. Our teacher is Lorena Maldonado. Today we are going to talk about intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Welcome and enjoy every presentation.
We can sit together.
A pleasure to greet our guest. I am Kelly Briones from group number 1 and our topic is Les Samoa Fine Math and its culture value. I hope you like it. Thanks.
Cultural aspects. Samoa Fine Math was inscribed in 2019 on UNESCO representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Identify. This element of heritage is now being practiced by an increasing number of young girls and even boys. The weavers and those who have mastered this artistic craft have created committees on the practice of the elements in the village where they live, in order to exchange views on the best practice of their art and increase their change of consolidating its transmission to younger generations. Symbolistic and belonging. The true value of these mats lies in their use as objects of exchange in traditional ceremonies and rituals designed to reaffirm kinship ties and strengthen community bonds. Mats are displayed and exchanged at festival celebrations or are important family and social gatherings, such as weddings and funerals, and the exchange made on these occasions contributed greatly to the preservation of coexistence and social structures. Thank you.
Geography. Territory. Samoa is located on the continent of Oceania and group of islands in the South Pacific Ocean, approximately weighted middle between Hawaii and Nueva Zelanda. To the east is America Samoa. It has no territory boundaries. The climate is tropical and between April and July are the rainy seasons. History. Samoa's history began when immigrants from the Lau Island in Eastern Fiji arrived in the Samoa Island approximately 3,500 years ago, and from there succeeded in the rest of Polynesia. Contact with Europeans began in the early 18th century, but did not intensify until the arrival of British traders and missionaries around 1813. Formerly known as German Samoa from 1910 to 1914 and Western Samoa from 1914 to 1997. This country comprises the western part of the Samoa archipelago in the South Pacific. It became independent from Nueva Zelanda in 1962. Samoa was admitted to the Union on December 15 in 1976. The entire group of islands, including America Samoa, was known as the Navigator Islands by European explorers in the 19th century due to the silent skies of the Samoas. Due to its time zone, Samoa is currently the first country to welcome the New Year along with Kiribati. Thanks.
Heritage protection importance. The importance of protection test mats is that they are finely woven by hand, which is an indication of their age, and the perfection achieved by the process of their natural fading. The Samoa mats called I have two colorful stripes may be fastening as many rows of green and red feathers, and on one of its edged hand, in long bands, the ends of the fibers with which they have been made. Handcrafted from Dimpandium feathers, these mats have a final texture comparable to that of a silk fabric. The lustrous copper color they acquire a fine over time enhances their value. The art of weaving them requires great skill because the fibers used are only 1 millimeter thick, which is why the production of a single piece can take months or even years at work. Samoa still maintains its historical customs, social and political system, and language. Cultural customs, such as the Samoa Aba ceremony, are important and solemn rituals practiced during special occasions, such as the appointment of tribal chiefs, matai, and the exchange of fine mats. These mats are from the ancestor and are still cared for and nurtured by this culture to the youth of the island. Thanks.
The ultimate penalty, the listing. UNESCO first adopted November 14 as the International Day Against Illicit Trafficking in Cultural Property during its 14th General Conference in 2019, with the aim of drawing more attention to this current ways to combat, as well as to highlight the importance of international cooperation and proactive measures of the Convention of the Means of Prohibiting and Preventing the illicit import, export, and transfers of narrative of cultural property in 1970. This convention, which celebrates its 50th anniversary in 2020, provides an international framework for the prevention of theft and illicit looting and the return of restitution of stolen cultural property. In parallel with other advances of stolen cultural property, in parallel with other advances in the fight against illicit trafficking, modern equipment technological tools facilitate the search for stolen treasures on land, in the earth, and underwater. UNESCO is a word that is Samoa fine mats are stolen. It is an aggravated felon as they are recognized intangible cultural heritage without any permission from the area. This is considered theft, and the respective authorities can make decisions such as imprisonment for hours, fine with money, apology to the state or community service. The punishment may vary depending on the amount of heritage throughout the time of inspection. The tourist countries cannot interfere in this decision because it is an offense committed and allowed by UNESCO. Thank you.
Conclusions. The Fa Samoa, or the traditional Samoa way, remains a dominant force in Samoa life and politics. Cultural customs such as the Samoa Aba ceremony are important and solemn rituals practiced on special occasions, such as the appointment of tribal chiefs. This culture is highly valued by the surrounding towns, and tourists like to go and enjoy these customs. Samoa's fine mat will be in the traditions and customs of its people. Fine mat is the way of giving thanks for life. It's customs of exchange at weddings, family meetings, or funerals. These mats are given as a gift at weddings to let them know how unite the family and what make ups that strange. In Samoa, their women learn from the time they are children until they reach old age and continue the tradition. Now they include the men in their apprenticeship to create more fine mats. Thank you for your attention.
In the great outdoors.
Good morning, we are group 2, and we are going to talk about atajos de negritos and atajos de payitas. It is a cultural manifestation active the Ica regions in the town on the south coast of Lima in Peru. That is at Chincha, Palpa, and Nazca. The Atajo de Negritos and Las Payitas are dance from the department of Ica. If belonging in Peru, it has a score of 0.91 for registration, detailing that the various efforts formed by the government company today have provided registration national and foreign registration of place, of succession or heritage of worship of Peru and of tangible concept of intangibles. Today there are thousands places that have already been to consider archaeological, those that are registered. However, there is still much to be programmed because it is close that there are approximately 1,050 archaeological cities in total throughout the country. A conclusion. The payitas and atajos de negritos are very important celebration to match so that they become cultural heritage. Thank you.
History. The Tajo or shortcut of Negritos and the Payas or Payitas are two musically and dance expressions on the south-central coast of Peru, which consists on the performance of various dance, the visit on the stopping, the sing, and the playing stringed instruments, violin and guitar, resplendently. Next. The pack of negritos traditionally meet up and lelips, also with home and the payas. The middle exclusively of homing are danced together and part of the Christmas celebration. The food expression are particularly associated with the identity of the rural, often Peru, and mestizo population on the central coast of Peru. Next.
Identity and symbolism. Atajo de Negritos is expression of sacrifice, of passion that dignifies, that makes growth, of a sacrifice that unites grandparents, parents, children, and grandchildren, where the joy that flows magically through their bodies in the feeling and the faith in every sound, in every zapatel that works with satisfaction to the rhythm of the sound of the violin. The soul of this costume that is Carmelite symbol and that revolves around the newborn Jesus. They are biblical representation of the visit of the shepherds to the child Jesus and the arrival of three wise men in which three cultural currents are mixed. The values of the pre-Hispanic handing war, the European Catholicism, and the legacy of the musical rhythms of the Africans brought to the spark in Peru in colonial times. It is one of the few native of Afro-Peruvian dance that are new of which there is little writing information. Most of it is like everything traditional and folkloric, transmitted from generation to generation. It has its dance and some of agricultural work and worship of the child god in the Virgin of Carmen. Has a strong fusion between the Afro and Andean, both in the lyrics of the song as the clothing.
From up here, the world seems small.
Currently, the Atajo de Negritos and the Payitas, which involves scenic music and dance and a mailing performed by children, have their area of influence the south central coast of Peru. Department of Ica the Heritage in Peru preserve the dance as it is repeated in Guagal and several districts so that the tradition is not lost and the new generation does not forget this tradition of the Lima. Kid groups that use colorful costumes, ornate silk bands, and sekinet plus, turbans, and federal hats. This tradition teaches children to respect and value their origins as girls, as commit to the community. However, he points, I should not remain just me, reconciliation, but they stay should protect and promote this ritual to evolve misinterpretation of the dance and excessive profit.
In the great outdoors,
Unesco recognized the Atajo bands composed of quadrillas of negritos and paudillos as intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2019, seeking to preserve this Afro tradition with a great representation of religion, spirituality, will being an expression of cultural and is performed between the months of December and January.
the world seems small. We
The
can
conclusion and recommendation.
together.
The presence of the bench of Negritos and the Payas in the Christmas celebration is an event that is achieved thanks to the participation of the entire population.
Forever free.
Conclusions. Each of these custom and traditional make it heritage events, and this is going to generation to remember various moments and celebrations.
Recommendation: attend and support the people who perform this day.
Take a step
His heritage is very important for Peru because they can present their cultures, tradition, and identity.
you can tell.
Thank you, teacher.
We're meant to be in the great outdoors.
Hello everybody.
We are group number 3, and today we are going to talk about Alcapac crafts tradition knowledge and of making hardware skills for craftsmen hardware. My name is Jonathan Valareso.
Hello, my name is Joanna Lita. To tell about the cultural aspect. This heritage is originally from Kyrgyzstan. It was declared by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2019. Identity. The alcapau is a typical male head covering of the sacred characters. It is part of the traditional Kyrgyz craft. It is a factor of unity between the members of the different tribes and the communities of the Kyrgyz ethnic groups. At the same time, it allows other ethnic groups to recognize them is goes from generation to generation, and the techniques of elaboration of living heritage are transmitted with women through oral teaching and practical training. Symbolism. The hat is white because it means wheat in Kyrgyz. Its beginning represents the mountain, its four seats represent the elements of nature: air, water, fire, and earth. Its edge represents the life, the tassels of the crest symbolize posterity and the memory of the ancestor. On the embroidery represented the genealogical tree and the clan. And finally, belonging. Alcapal is not unique to Kyrgyzstan. It also exists in other cultures in the region. Becoming more representative in Kyrgyzstan, since some men use this all the time.
Hello, my name is Shirley and I will talk to you about geography. Kyrgyzstan is a mountainous country located in the heart of the Asian continent. It is landlocked and geographically belongs to the Central Asian region. The capital is Bishkek. It has a climate of -9 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. That generally varies during to the course of the year. The limits are North Kazakhstan, South Tajikistan, East People's Republic of China, and to the west Uzbekistan. Within the territory, we find that the population is 6,586 million inhabitants, followed by minorities of Uzbeks and Russians. Kyrgyzstan is divided into 7 provinces, which are Batken, Jalalabad, Issyk-Kul, Naring, Osh, Talas, and Chuy. And there are 2 independent municipalities, which are Bishkek and Osh. Its official languages are Kyrgyz and Russian. The main religious groups are Muslims and Orthodox Christian, and the currency is some Kyrgyzo. In the history, Kyrgyzstan spans over 2,000 years, with a variety of cultures and empires. It is geographically sloped, but its high mountains and has helped preserve its ancient culture. Historically, it has been on the Silk Road and other commercial and cultural routes. It has long been inhabited by independent tribes and clans and has fallen under foreign domination, reaching sovereignty as a nation-state. The independence of Kyrgyzstan was on August 31, 1991. The state
is a parliamentary republic, but it continues with political, economic, ethnic conflicts, revolts, and traditional governments. In addition to their Turkish origins, they carry elements of Persian, Mongolian, and Russian influence.
Hello, my name is Damari Solano. Heritage protection importance. Since ancient time, a Kalpak embodies a deep national philosophy. As this headgear is protected by national legislation that passed a bill elevating the status of the Akalpak, putting it on par with the national anthem and flag. The purpose of the festivities is to preserve the significance of the national headdress in order to support national traditions and develop a sense of pride of the Kyrgyz people in their culture. Currently, the tradition of a kalpak is included in the state etiquette. They are given to foreign honorary guests, and when appointing or electing officials, this headdress is also honored.
Hello, my name is Carlos Gomon. Today I am going to tell you about why the heritage called by removing from world elite and what would by its penalty. Okay, these criteria were raised by the ONU on the protection of intangible cultural heritage. The most important criterion is the loss of heritage. Okay, this refers to the people who are dedicated to making this craft that is spread throughout the city in various workshops. The next is poaching, which are affected by the ship signs from here take to the material, the products, the hat. The following are the words that take place in the same territory or in certain signs they cause people travel to another country and the crafts are no larger products. In the occupation of territory is referred to the exploitation of the place where the ships live. And finally, the revolution that is taking place now focus on the little attention that young people pay to this profession, even forgotten. Okay, in the part of penalty, both the country and the ONU take charge, which is a charger of sanctioning the person who damaging or exploitation the heritage. Among these, we have imprisonment of 3 years of causing serious damage to the proprietary without the opportunity to be realized on both. In the second, we have the financing fine, which is deducted for your basic salary for 1 year or more, depending on the severity of the damage. And finally, we have the confiscation. The case came that he could not pay the fine imposed for damage to the patrimony.
Conclusion. Kyrgyzstan is a country full of many traditions, without both a place where can learn more about these traditions. They have tried to keep their culture exclusive from the Christian World Heritage Site. They was provoked exercise migration leaving a tradition increases. It allows a very strict appropriate damage. The creation techniques are very unique in the world. The knowledge of these techniques common is community evolution. This tradition will continue in part for generation to generation. That the world does now is that each holds a meaning. This tradition is a story of community that we live with the passive is the years marking on the trade traditions and customs that will impact in the work.
We can sit
Thanks for your attention.
It's so beautiful, you and me.
Hello everybody, welcome. We are group number 4. We will talk about Armenia and its culture. Culture aspects. Armenian letters at the century-old art. They are about the decoration of letters and their various hues. The element is based on the Armenian alphabet, created in 405 with master marshals, following the principle of on letter for on sound. They refer 10 as the 39 soldiers, and Armenia of letter marching forward in the Armenian identity. The alphabet, after all, is the basic mark of the distinctive language, and the culture is the distinguished by is the wide range of environmental greetings classified by their, for example, birds, animal, people, and mythical or imaginary creatures. In addition, there are many streets and words throughout Armenia dedicated to the Armenian alphabet. And the word as a which is thought of the creator of Armenia. Leather master mashups opposite the Matanaram. A unique place is the Yerevan where ancient manuscripts are Yerevan. One of the most visited monuments is located near Zero Ara, a monument of the alphabet where it observes in each of them their respective symbol, preserving their culture and identity.
Sometimes you need to go. Take a step back.
Great. Armenia is geographically located in the territory called Transcaucasian, from part Asia and Europe. It shares borders with Turkey to the west, Georgia, and the north, Azerbaijan to the east, and the Iran and from Azerbaijan cake on the 97 to the south. The Armenians refer to the country as Haistan in the honor of the mythical ancestor of their high people. It was in the purposely territory during the Bronze Age between 300 and 1000 before Christ, and crucially because it's in a Byzantine dominated metallurgy, and there were important metal mines now excused in the Armenian solar. It is now and also Soviet Republic and the United Multi-Party that stay in the process of the democratization and unity. And the East rose in one of the oldest civilizations in the world. Throughout their story, Armenia has lived almost always in the hands of the imperials, has been lost territories, constantly plains of the 6th century after Christ. A curious thing about the Armenians is that being part to the totally different countries, they feel deeply un-European, and especially in the French and Greece.
Importance. This element of intangible cultural heritage encompasses the art of writing and calligraphy of the Armenian alphabet, as well as its culture uses, whether decorative or otherwise. This writing is based on the alphabet created by Machats in the years 405 of ours, and is characterized by having an arrangement the beginning of one letter per sound. This writing is distinguished by its great variety of ornamental characters that are usually classified according to of its form as teeth, birds, animals, and mythical or fantastic characters and creatures. Since its creation, this writing has not served exclusively to create a writing culture heritage, but also to present numbers, cryptograms, enigmas, etc. Nowadays, these letters are also used in the production of handicrafts objects, and it is highly recognized and faithfully taught in every education institution from kindergarten to university. In addition, the practice of this element of cultural heritage it will spread throughout the territory national and is part of the identity of the Armenian people. Finally, all this immaterial art for Armenian culture signifies its way of thinking, its past and future, its immaterial love for others, and its spirit.
The ultimate penalty. Article 1, Article C, Article 2, the 264. The distortion or damage of historical and the cultural monuments protected by the state, as well as the destruction or the damage of documents or article that pose a particular cultural or historical value is finished of the fine of the 200 to 400. The minimum, the wish or the correctional word for are them of the 1 year or the with arrest for other of up to 2 months or the with imprisonment for other or the 2 years. The acts mentioned in the part 1 of this article committed with the causing the particularly significant damage or are the sanctioned with the fine 100 to 200 times the minimum, the which or the correctional word for under of up to 6 months.
Conclusions. Intangible cultural heritage does not lie in the cultural manifestation itself, but in the wealth of knowledge and technologies that are transmitted from generation to generation. The social and economic value of this transmission of knowledge is relevant to both minority and majority social groups in state. The elements of the intangible cultural heritage in Armenia encompasses the centuries-old art or writing and calligraphy of the Armenian alphabet, as well as this culture use water decorative or outdoors step. The element is distinguished by this great variety of character, birds, animal, and mythical or fantastic characters at creation. The art of Armenian writing has permanent almost on the country's social stage and has special influences popular art, an educational institution at the levels, youth centers, and the Armenian Apostolic Church play an essential role in the transmission of this art. The first sentence were in the Armenian was "No wisdom and instruction preserve words" on understanding. Thank you, everybody.
afternoon. We are the group number 5 and we are talking about of the culture of Nigeria. My name is Kevin Delgado and I am going to talking about the cultural aspects. First, the identity. Nigeria has been home to various ancient and indigenous kingdoms and states for millennia. The British established administrative and legal structures while practicing indirect rule through traditional chiefdoms. Nigeria became a formally independent federation in 1960. It experienced a civil war from 1967 to 1970. The villaging of Nigeria is often referred to as the giant of Africa due to its large population and economy, of which the three largest are the Hausa, LGBO, and Yoruba. These ethnic groups speak more than 500 different languages and identify with a wide variety of cultures. Nigeria is roughly evenly divided between Christians who live mainly in the southern part of the country, the Muslims who live mainly in the north. A minority of the population practices indigenous Nigeria religions, such as those of the LGBO and Yoruba ethnic groups. The symbolism, your motto are the unity and faith, peace and progress. It is made of saber with a wavy silver pearl, representing the two main rivers that flow through Nigeria. The Niger is tributary to Benue. The color black alludes to the fertility of Nigerian land. The green represents the virgin jungles and land of Nigeria. The white symbolizes the peace and unity. Next, my partner.
Hello, my name is Juan Pablo Borja, and I'm going to talk about of geography and history. This tradition is contained in Africa and Nigeria, specifically in the Nog Along community. Nigeria is the West African country located in the Gulf of Guinea region. The country borders Benin to the west, Niger and Chad to the north, and Cameroon to the east. With about 189 million inhabitants. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and the 7th in the world. The creative story leaders of this ethnic group also invited families to listen to their histories after the war in the fields. In the early hours of the night, with the passage of time, they began to stage their narratives, and this practice led to configuration of the current form of the social importance of the Kwang year. This element of the living cultural heritage and spectacle that entertains the public and importance moral lesson to them through the staging in the interpretation of social events of the present and the past. A social theater from 1 year incorporates puppetry, customs, poetry, music, dance, and animated storytelling to articulate the reality of the people. People's daily struggles, aspirations, success, and failure are expressed through creative dramatization. The Kwang Year Theater is owned by community with knowledge as skills passed on through learning People who indicate interest in the company's activities are trained and mentored until they reach certain level of competence. Then they are accepted into the company. Regular representation are made ensure that arts keep alive and that the younger generation continues to identify with it. Continue, my partner.
Hello, my name is Scarlett, and I am going to tell you about the importance of a culture show. Cow here is a composite spectacle that is visually stimulating and culturally defines. Count here has its roots in the storytelling tradition of the tea people, where families were tutored to storytelling sessions, be creative storytellers. With time, storytellers began dramatizing their stories, culminating in Count here in its present form. The practice incorporates puppetry, masquerade, poetry, music, dancing, and animated narratives to articulate the realities of the deaf people. Regular performances are held to ensure the art is kept alive and relates skills and knowledge are transmitted through apprentices within the troops. The importance of the council community is to able to extend its culture nationally and internationally and educating its new generation and not lose its wonderful culture. Thank you. Next.
The ultimate penalty. The government's progressive policies and promotions of indigenation, the exploitation of culture heritage, gets in the quest for positive self-identified has led to a number of initiatives to start community. Their projects in Zimbabwe, other successful community teacher projects include Morewa, where young unemployed youths were encouraged to use local dance to perform a dance and drama about grand formation. Next, my partner.
Hello, my name is Tamara Medina. I am going to talk about the conclusion theatrical performance in score, brave culture, brief music, dance, and end storytelling to articulate this reality of the three people, the daily struggle, corporation, success, and difficulties of the people are expressed to create the dramatization. This theory is communicated with national intent. With pass on the true apparently individual who engage interest in the troop activities are trained and mentored into trade through it a level of competence they are aspect into troop regular performance and held to ensure that its art is in that its younger generation continues to identify with it. I am going to start pressing a video of the subject.
Hello, this is the group number 6. We talk about Thailand, especially of traditional Thai message. Next. Yeah, the cultural aspects. In Nua Thai, traditional Thai message has been inscribed on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It helps promote the practice of Nuai Thai locally and internationally. Nuai Thai is regarded as part of the art, science, and cultural of traditional Thai healthcare as a non-medicinal remedy and manual therapy. It involves bodily manipulation in which the practitioner helps rebalance the patient's body, energy, and structure to treat illnesses. The practitioner helps rebalance the patient's body, crisscross the human body, and this manipulation is intended to the normalize for body elements, earth, water, wind, and fire. To open up blocked roads, Nuai therapists perform a combination of manipulation using her hands, elbows, knees, and feet, together with herbal hot compress to reduce inflammation. Presently, Nuai is classified into two main types: Nuai therapy and Nuai for health promotion. Online conventional message, the Thai message involved a lot of movement and typically sends people assuming a series of different positions. Therapists use not only oil in their hands but sometimes their forearms and knees to apply pressure. From upscale, the Bangkok spas and Phuket beachfronts to modest street side shop houses, Inuit tide is ubiquitous. An hours of the bag string discipline can cost as little as $5, and the students have showed it can help relieve back pain, headaches, insomnia, and even anxiety. Thanks.
Geography. History. Nahuatl is a practice with thousands of years of history. Where Nahuatl means massage and Thai comes stroke is territory. Thai considered traditional. Thai massage as an authentic preventive medicine. It is practiced to live harmoniously and without stress, relieving body and mind. Traditional Thai massage use stretching and relaxation techniques. Passive yoga postures and movements are combined, applying pressure to strategic points on the body. It seeks to work the same energy lines that run through the human body to free it from diseases and regain its balance. Territory. Thailand is part of a geographical area known as Southeast Asia. Its capital is Bangkok and it is the most populated city. Nahuatl it is practiced throughout the Thai territory without neglecting that this massage has traveled different countries in Asia such as India, Nepal, Tibet, China, Mongolia, Korea, and Japan. Thank you.
Heritage. Thai massage called New Tide is considered part of the science, technique, and cultural practice of traditional Thai medicine. It is a non-medical remedy, but a manual therapy in which its practitioners subject patients to a body manipulation designed to, to help to help rebalance energies and structure the body to treat the ailments subsequently caused by the obstruction of the scent lines, namely the channels that it assumed run through the human organisms and transmit vital energies flows. This empirical care became a formal knowledge system, and today the practice of a new diet is an income-generating professional activity, which has benefits. In addition to the pleasure of receiving a massage, if done regularly, it can help combat everything from tensions, problems in the neck or shoulders to metabolic dysfunctions. What it basically aims to do is fine-tune our body so that it feels in harmony and ready to face my situation, says the therapist Bob Podhauset. That is why it is very important to conserve this intangible heritage, as it contributes to social and economic development.
Several countries like Thailand take care of and present their culture and natural heritage. Heritage in Thailand is highly protected and cared for, and the occasion for committing an indecent act can be numerous and can have serious consequences. The laws in Thailand to protect heritage assets are many signs they have special protection and more if they are declared a World Heritage Site. The penalties for committing damage to the patrimony range from 1 to 7 years in prison if they break or commit a crime against the patrimony, or in terms of a fine of $6,000 to $12,000. This depends on the crime you have committed. Thank you.
Conclusion. Thailand is a very interesting country as it has a well-known cultural tradition. Its population is very extensive. There are several inhabitants who practice different professions in the streets, such as massage to relieve pain, dentists, among other professions. Their most practiced religion is Buddhism. Thank you very much for attention. I hope you liked the information about Thailand.